This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Know-How is brought to you by CashFly.
This episode of Know-How is brought to you by Tracker. Tracker makes losing things a thing of the past. Pair Tracker to your smartphone, attach it to any item, and find its precise location with a tap of a button. Visit thetracker.com right now to enter promo code KNOWHOW for 30% off your entire order. And by IT Pro TV. IT Pro TV is an easy, entertaining approach to online IT training. For a free 7-day trial and 30% off the life of your account, go to itpro.tv/knowhow and use the code KNOWHOW30. Today on Know-How,
it's tech for your health.
Welcome to Know-How. It's the Twitch show where we build, bend, break, and upgrade. I am Father Robert Balliser, but that is not Brian Burnett. Instead, it's Mr. Patrick Delahanty. Patrick, welcome back.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
You've been subbing in a lot for Cranky Hippo while he's been searching for the cure for male pattern baldness.
Yeah, taking advantage of the opportunity. I love being on Know-How.
Yeah, and it's a good episode for you to be on because we are going to go back to health tech. We covered this a few months ago, and it was fun. But we've got some updates since then, a few things that we thought people might want to start looking into. This has been a trend, especially with the rise of wearables. There's more and more technology out there that's supposed to make you healthy.
Yeah, and I tried to order my Apple Watch last night. And,
that's not going to work.
Yeah, by the time this airs, I'll have it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the funny thing about this is as we get more and more pieces of wearable/health tech, it just gives me more and more opportunities not to get healthy. But we're going to fix that. In fact, we're going to fix that right now because you've got a product. I like these kind of fusions of product where it's not just the hardware that's supposed to change your lifestyle. It's what the hardware can connect to. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
This is the WiThings WS50 Smart Body Analyzer. And to make that simple, it's a scale. It's a bathroom scale, regular bathroom scale. I actually reviewed this in Before You Buy episode 88. And I gave it a don't buy.
Because it broke.
It broke.
Okay.
But I regretted that ever since. And I've bought two since then.
Leo has one of these, right?
I have one of these.
Yeah.
I think Leo has one of these.
Yeah.
And I bought one for my father. I don't know if he actually uses it.
Whoa. Okay, wait. What am I
Oh,
saying?
this is showing the CO2 in the room. It's telling me it's good. It tells me the temperature.
Can
I mess it
up?
It's not going to be that sensitive, I don't think.
No.
But yeah, and so I can actually see, we had luggage on this and measured the CO2, the temperature. It tells me my heart rate and
all the other good things.
Yeah,
you know,
blood pressure too.
We've seen.
Pressure,
wait, it tells your it can detect your blood pressure through your feet.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. I'm sold on technology like this. I love this kind of tech. In fact, I saw this at CES. When they first released it like 6 years ago, I think was the first version of the WiThings scale. It was a little rudimentary back there, but they've definitely improved it as time has gone by.
And this one's about 2 years old, so they probably have an updated version of this. But this still works great. And it has an app on iOS and Android where you can actually track your weight over time. And if we go to the overhead here, it's kind of bright. I mean, but anyway, it tracks my weight over time. And also the blood pressure and fat mass. It tracks
like
all
fat
that.
Mass, no.
And so I can see a nice little graph of my weight, and I can see that I've been going up and up and up.
And yeah, this is the leveraging of cloud analytics. So when you start pushing this information up to the cloud, it's not necessarily that you're going to get immediately healthy. It's if you can see your health over time, and if you give it enough data points, supposedly it should help you make healthier decisions. Like for example, you can find out that your weight balloons every time a semester ends, and you realize, okay, that's a danger point for me.
Yeah.
Whenever I get out of a major assignment or a major job or gig, whatever it might be, I tend to overeat or I tend to reduce my exercise. That's the sort of thing that these connected scales are supposed to do. Oh, I will admit to this. So the broken one that WiThings wouldn't fix, which is why it got the don't buy, I actually disassembled it, and it's been used in several know-how projects because those components were basically just hanging off of an Arduino. It was an mega chipset inside.
Oh, there's an Arduino in there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's an embedded processor, but I mean, like for example, there are 4 stress monitors. They're basically just steel gauges with with a sensor through them, which allows you to find out how much weight is being placed on them. There is also the gas meter, which now I know what it is. I'm going to hook it up. I didn't know what that thing was before. It's an interesting device, but Patrick, what I really want to see, and I think this is where it fits in the know-how, this is why it's a DIY thing, is I'm supposed to be able to hook this up to IFTTT. Everyone else calls it IFTTT, but I call it IFTTT because I can make it trigger certain things.
Yeah, this scale actually plugs into or interfaces with, they say, over 100 other apps and devices. And so it interacts with those. And one of them is IFTTT, if this then that. You can find it at IFTTT.com. And we've mentioned this before. I talked about IFTTT on episode 96 of Know-How. Way back then, I did a IFTTT with a little blink USB. And I made it so when I got mentioned on Twitter, it blinks. Well, with this, I can hook it in, and when I weigh myself, I can have things happen.
Okay, I like this.
And so I thought we'd set up a little sample here, and just an example of one of the things you can do. So I've logged into my IFTTT account here. I'm going to go to my recipes.
They call them recipes?
Yeah. And I'll create a new recipe. Oh, there's the last one. I have the blink, but if a Wemo sensor senses motion, it'll blink. So what I'm going to do here is make a new recipe. If this, and the this would be, I have to find the Y. I could search through the list. No.
I love the fact that it has things like Adafruit, it has cars, you've got their BMW in there. So you really do have a wide range of devices that you can pull data from.
Y things. Yeah, there's so many things.
Now, do you have to wait until a company adds its own little widget to it, or can you create it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. IFTTT doesn't support infinite things. There's a huge list of things it supports. But if you have some new thing or something you've made yourself, it's not automatically.
Dale Poco has a great idea. So if the scale shows that you're 5 pounds heavier, like put an automatic lock on the fridge in the pantry.
If you've got a fridge that has a lock that's hooked into IFTTT, then maybe you can do that.
Okay, but then it ends up with me kicking the door down or like tearing open the fridge. So
if we go back to IFTTT here, you can see my options. And so if this, in the this part, I can say a new measurement. So this would be every time
I like this.
That I weigh myself in the morning. Or if I want it, when the weight rises above a certain measurement. So I can say, okay, if I've reached this weight, then do this. Or if it drops below. So if I lose a lot of weight and I've met some sort of goal, I can post some congratulations.
You know what this is? This is that whole, you've just lost 5 pounds and you walk into the office hoping that someone recognizes it. Well, now IFTTT will. It's it turns on the little blower with the wacky inflatable arm flailing tube band. It's like, celebrate.
I could have it hook into my Y Things power module and do all sorts of, like turn on, I don't know, a light or something.
I'd have it connect to, I have a 9-bot that I'm testing. And I'm, I wonder, well, we'll check later.
Yeah.
I'd love for it to like take the 9-bot and go get me some cake. You've lost 5 pounds, let's get it back.
And so then there's other options on here for the other Y Things modules. There's a blood pressure monitor, and then there's Pulse, which I also reviewed on Before You Buy back in the day. And that's a step tracker and blood or heartbeat monitor. So those are their other
Y Things has a lot of those devices.
Yeah.
That's basically where they live.
And they work through IFTTT.
And if I remember, so with IFTTT, I can actually take triggers from multiple devices. So I could say, if the scale is this, and if...
No. It's not if this
not
and
if,
this,
if.
then that. It's if this, then that. So that's one of the limitations, and I wish that there was some way to overcome that.
Oh, right. I had a workaround for this, but it was a convoluted workaround, because you could interface with a couple of Adafruit modules. And so you could say, okay, the Adafruit, if the Adafruit thing detects this, then set a state on the Adafruit, and then you can do that to multiple things, and then you could do IFTTT with those two down into one. It is convoluted.
I used to have swarm check-ins hooked into the Wemo in my office, so that if I checked in within a certain perimeter of the Twit brick house, the light in my office would turn on, which was great in the morning. I check into Twit when I get to the parking garage, and by the time I get to my office, the light is on. Except if I went to a restaurant downtown Petaluma, checked in on the weekend, my office light would turn on, and then Bert complains, you left your light on.
It's like, no, I didn't. Actually, I remember that because I used to go in there and turn that thing off.
And so there was no way for me to say, if I check in and it's Monday through Friday at this time.
That seems like a serious limitation. I'm wondering why they haven't upgraded that yet.
It is a bit limiting, and I wish, as the programmer in me, wishes that I could do more to add actual like clauses to this. Say, okay, only do this Monday through Friday.
If this, but not that, and this.
Or do this if I check in on Foursquare and I do,
Make it a real Boolean expression.
Yeah.
And you just, because I mean, that's negligible horsepower that you need to make that happen.
But I can understand that it would be more confusing to the consumer when you add all these if statements that are really complicated.
Yeah. Or they should have like IFT Pro.
Yeah, I would pay for that.
I would totally pay for that. All right, okay, continue.
So we'll continue, and what I'll do here is I'm going to set up one that says if my weight measurement rises, actually no, I'm going to do weight measurement drops below, because if I get below a weight goal, I want everybody to know. So target weight. Well, this is where I reveal approximately how much I weigh. Keep in mind, I'm 6'6", so that is heavy.
And I still weigh more than you.
I weigh more than 230 pounds right now.
And my leg weighs more than 230
So if I get down to 230 pounds, which is a pretty good goal, I'm not much more than that, I'll say. But if I get down to 230 pounds, I'm going to create a trigger, and something will happen. So I've created the if this. And now I have to create the then that.
Now, I have to do something on the actual devices, both the ones that trigger and the ones that get triggered by IFT to work with IFT, right? So they all have to be certified to work with IFT.
Yeah, when you first log into IFT, you can set up the devices you have. You have to connect it to your Twitter account, your Facebook account, Google, and anything else that you want to use it with. You just, like if you've ever used one of those Twitter clients, it's the same sort of thing. You just authorize it.
What about, I mean, I have to ask because this is all the rage in my other show, security. I mean, you're basically creating a very big personal Internet of Things.
Yeah.
Is it protected at all?
It's as protected as your IFT account, I assume. So use a secure password. But it's also, it's fairly limited what people can do. Like if why things got hacked, they'd be able to post to my Twitter and say that I reached my weight goal. They couldn't post anything.
Rev Danuga in the chat room, that's way too soon, Rev. He writes, if payload of satellite is on rocket, then do not fuel. I mean, too soon, man, too soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so so I've got my trigger. I've got what I'm going to trigger. How do I specify exactly what I am triggering on the target device?
And well, this is where we decide what we want to do with that. So I've said if I drop to 230 pounds, I want to, and then I've got all these options. So I could, I don't know what the BMW Labs one does.
Start car.
Start the car.
If I weigh less than 230 pounds, start
car. I
could
have something go to Dropbox. I could post something to Flickr.
Oh, see, the auto post stuff, that's dangerous. You've got to be careful with that.
But a lot of this stuff, I don't know how it makes sense. Like
cooking
what would Feedly even do? I could Gmail, I could send somebody an email saying, hey, I reached my weight, maybe my doctor.
I like that. Air conditioning, GE air conditioning. So if I weigh more than 230 pounds, turn off the air conditioning and make me sweat.
That's one possibility. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to go to the basic one. I could set up a reminder. LinkedIn.
Was it? I think there was a group of students who they came up with a quote-unquote revolutionary way to make you lose weight. They bounded with a fitness band, and it was IFT. And if you did not exercise like every day, it would donate money out of your banking app. That does not sound like something I would want to enable.
Yeah. So I've got here Twitter. So that's a pretty basic one. And so these are the things that you can do with Twitter. And these are pretty much the same options. If it's not a scale, you could do some other if. You have the same options here for that part. And so I can post a tweet with an image, send a direct message to myself, update my profile picture, update my bio, or add user to a list. And for some of these, they don't really make sense with a scale. Why would I, I've reached my weight goal, let me add a user to a list.
But I mean, I'm sure at some point someone's going to figure out a way to use that.
But there's some add a user to list you might want with one of the if-thens from some other product.
Right.
Maybe there's like, I have a new Facebook follower, let me add this new, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see someone like this is how you play the auto-follow game.
Yeah.
So if someone follows me, then follow them back. and then 10 days later unfollow them.
And you can do if Twitter, if I have a new follower, then Twitter, add a new user to the list. You can use the same thing on both.
Right.
But for this, I'm just going to post a tweet, and it's letting IFT post to Twitter.
So you had to enter in, you didn't need an API key from Twitter. This was just your account, right?
Well, I've already synced the IFT with my Twitter. You have to do the whole login, and then you authorize IFT. It will want permissions to post, send direct messages, and it pretty much wants everything. It wants to be able to change my bio.
It wants to be you.
Yeah, and if you're not comfortable with that, don't do it. And you can always go to Twitter, and it's a good idea to regularly go through and see what apps have access to Twitter and who's trying to do what. And if you don't recognize an app, delete it. Because there may have been some old game like, hey, see how many Twitter followers are from this country, and you click that thing so it can read your profile, and it still has access. Yeah, just go through. If you don't recognize a client that's in your Twitter app list, kill it.
Okay.
But so here, this is where I can post my tweet. And they give you a sample one of, I beat my weight goal currently, weight lib, pounds, and fat percent body fat. Hashtag progress. And this is not one that I pre-programmed. This is their actual default.
Okay, you need to change that hashtag cake.
Yeah, and so you can see here that once you click into here, the highlighted fields of weight and fat percent have gone into the double brackets. And that signifies that it's going to put the actual value in there. And over here, you've got the little beaker. And so that lets you select other options, other ingredients, IFT calls it. And so you can say kilograms. So if you're outside the United States and like normal people everywhere else, you use metric, you can report that.
Measure that, is that like a time and date stamp?
Sounds like that would be, so if I measure myself at 8 o'clock in the morning, it would say at 8 o'clock.
Although that, I guess that would be self-evident because you tweeted at that time. But okay,
so,
sure.
You know, for some, maybe Twitter will tell you the time, but maybe there's some other thing you're posting to that doesn't.
Right.
The mass, the lean mass.
And
so
the company that builds their device to work with IFTTT, they're the ones who choose what ingredients you can mix.
Yes, and so why things said, okay, you can pull the weight, you can pull the fat mass, you can pull the measured at, and their sample one has these in here, but you could change it to whatever you want.
Got it.
And I don't want to tell people my percentage of body fat. I mean, I'll tell people the weight because I reached the goal, but really,
no, that's it.
Let's just take that out. And maybe if I want to say pounds.
And seriously, change progress to cake. That should be cake.
Time for
There
cake.
we go. The cake is a lie.
Not a lie.
Okay.
And so this will tell the world on my Twitter account that it'll tell me, actually it'll say my current weight. So if I go below 230, it's going to say like, oh, he's now 229
now,
or whatever
I will say you are creating a persistent check.
Yeah.
So before you do this, make sure you want this, because I can imagine setting a bunch of these up because you're excited to use it, and then forgetting that they're there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe putting the device away, and then you bring the device back out, completely forgetting that it's tied into IFTTT, and then it just starts posting.
I'm not going to hit 230 pounds tomorrow. So if I don't remove this later and I forget about it for a month.
What just happened?
I'll be like, oh yeah, I set up that thing on Know-How. Oh.
That could be evil. It's like take picture from Dropcam, post, of me on scale and post to Twitter.
What's this episode number? I'm actually going to hashtag it.
251.
251. And so
we'll know. Okay.
I'll be able to say, oh yeah, that was episode Know-How 251. And I'm going to leave this in here.
What if your wife gets on the scale?
If my wife gets on the scale, she weighs less than me, obviously, and she weighs less than this weight goal. And it knows the difference between us.
It does? Oh.
Because it doesn't expect me to lose 100 pounds overnight. And so...
What if she got on the scale with like 100 pounds of weight, so it's just below?
There would be ways to confuse it. If I only put one leg on the scale and just kind of tapped it, then maybe I could fool it into thinking I was her, but... yeah, there's ways to fool it. But for legitimate use, it is able to tell the difference between us just by the weight. It knows that, okay, this person in the household weighs about this much, this person weighs about this much, and it will track you as it goes so that it knows.
There we go.
Yeah, and so if you come on here and say, oh, this is 88 pounds, 87 pounds.
I prefer to switch it to kilograms and pretend like it's pounds. And it makes me feel better about myself.
But see, you got to hold it steady for a while for it to get the measurement and lock it in. But if you went and did that, then it would think, oh, that's Patrick's weight. Congratulations, he just tweeted.
So it's smart enough.
This is a smart device.
Now, is the device smart enough, or is the service smart enough?
It's probably the service.
Okay.
But although I don't know. Yeah, it must be the device because it does have my initials in there. And so it recognizes me when I stand on it. And so if the internet's down, it'll still do it. Yeah. So it's got to be in there.
Well, this is fun. Now, I will say, because there are so many devices in there, this tip could work for pretty much everything. I like the Y things because it is one of the first health devices I ever saw, but health band, exercise band, Apple Watch,
if you get a Fitbit and you walk so many miles, so many steps, you could do that and say, hey, I hit 30,000 steps today. I'm really tired.
I have a this is a first gen Moto, what is 360 or something, whatever. Yeah, Moto 360. I did not buy this. This was
that was in the giveaway table at Brick House.
Yeah, see what you had to do. There's a skill to this, folks. You have to wait until you see Leo nesting in his office, and you think he's about to put a bunch of stuff out on the table, and you just kind of hang out near the table. Just wait till he comes down, and then you just pounce, and that's how you get a cool watch. But this does it's like steps. It will even do like oxygen, VO max. It will do. It does this weird metric called burn rate, or I guess it figures out how you're burning off your calories, and all of those are accessible on IFTTT.
Oh, and so you're going to tweet that out?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to hit this last step, create my action, and I am going to lock this in. It's finalized, and then there's a recipe title. So when I come back to IFTTT and look at it, it'll tell everybody.
Okay.
And so when I see this, I'll know, oh, this is my recipe to tweet this out. And so when this finally gets tweeted out in a year, I'll be like, where's that recipe? Oh, it's this one.
So you do have like a list of all the recipes you have currently active, and can you disable them without deleting them?
Yes, okay. And I'll actually go through my list here. You can see there's the new one I just created. Then there's this things one,
right.
There's this one. Here's one that's deleted. Remind me to check in on Swarm when I get home. When leaving Twit area, turn off Patrick's office light. But we're not at the Brick House anymore.
Can we change that to like when leaving Twit area, turn off Burke's light?
Well, if you plug something into Burke's light, you need a Wemo there or something.
Oh, I got those. I'm not a good person.
Yeah, so, and then there's the one, if near Twit, turn on Patrick's office light. And that's the one that caused all the problems where I just happen to be downtown and my light goes on.
All right. Well, thank you, Patrick. This is fantastic. And actually, this is far more in depth than we did way back when, was it 188? Episode 188. So if you are interested, not just in doing health tech, but doing health tech that's tied into other services that could potentially, and I'm serious about this, could potentially change your lifestyle, maybe even save your life, please do it. When we come back, Patrick, we got a little something. I wanted health tech that was a little bizarre, far more bizarre than a scale.
Okay.
And we actually did get it at CES. I've been holding on to this nugget for a while, and I think it's time to throw it out in the open. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a moment to thank the sponsor of this episode of Know How. We live in a smart world. Everything is smart these days. Smartphones, smart TVs, smart cars, smart houses. So why is it that we can still feel so dumb when we lose our smart things? Well, folks, if you are tired of that fear of losing out, that fear of misplacing your treasured piece of technology, there's one device that you should be thinking of to solve that problem, and that device is Tracker. Now, this is the Tracker right here. It's a funny little button-looking device, but it has so much power. Now, it uses Bluetooth LE, that's low energy, to connect to your iPhone or your Android device. It has a replaceable battery in here that will last for a year because it is using that Bluetooth LE. And what it does with that power is absolutely magical. You see, once you pair up to 10 of these with your device, you'll know when they start to go out of range. You'll know their exact location. In fact, you'll know just about everything you need to know about where they are. This coin-sized device locates your misplaced keys, your wallets, your backpacks, your bicycles, your computers, even your pets in just seconds. You can just pair Tracker to your smartphone, attach it to any item, and you'll be able to locate its precise spot with the tap of a button. It's that easy. You can also customize two-way separation alerts so that you're notified before you forget your item. Let's say you're in a coffee shop and you start to walk to the counter. Well, you'll get a little buzz on your phone saying, hey, are you sure you really want to be walking away from me? Tracker is that smart. Also, if you lose your phone, you can press the button on the tracker and do a reverse track. It will actually make your phone ring, even if it's on silent, so that you can find out where you misplaced it and where you put it. With over 1.5 million devices, Tracker has one more trick. One trick that really puts it above every other device that tries to do the same thing. You see, Tracker uses what's called crowd GPS. It's a mesh GPS network. It means that not only are you paired to your tracker, but even if you go out of range, and I'm not talking about a couple of extra feet, a couple of extra miles, I'm talking about thousands of miles, halfway across the planet, as long as your tracker is within 100 feet of another tracker user, it means that you're still going to get a location report. And remember, with 1.5 million devices, there's a good chance that it's always going to be near someone who's using another tracker. Now, if that's not precise enough for you, they've also got Tracker Atlas. That works with your Tracker Bravo or third-party Bluetooth tracker to pinpoint your items on a customizable floor plan of your home. Not just within a couple of meters or within a couple of feet. It can say, hey, Bob, you left your keys up on the 3rd floor in the corner office. It's really that simple. Folks, if you're tired of losing your smart devices in dumb ways, get yourself a tracker. Go to thetracker.com and never lose your possessions again. Plus, just for our audience, if you enter the promo code KNOWHOW, you'll get 30% off your entire order. That's thetracker, TheTracker.com, promo code KNOWHOW for 30% off your entire Tracker order. And we thank Tracker for their support of Know-How. Okay, so you ready to jump in the little time machine here?
Yeah, I love time machines.
Back in January, we did stop by the Health Pavilion at CES, and there was a product there that I think it was just because we were really, really tired, but we spent way too much time at the booth, way longer than we thought we would, because it was just silly tech. It was silly tech, but over the months, I have found more and more places that actually use it. Imagine, if you will, what it's like to live in a nursing home, or what it's like to live in a critical care facility where you have very limited access to people. You can't have pets. It's not good for you. It's not good for your immune system. What if you could have something robotic that evoked that same warm, fuzzy feeling that you get by holding your pet bunny?
Robot bunnies?
Yeah, it's really hard to talk about it, so rather than me talking about it, let's go ahead and just show it.
The Sands Convention Center has become sort of the innovation hub of CES. This is where you see the truly innovative and the truly strange products, and I would definitely place this right in the middle. This is the Paro from a Schaumburg, Illinois company. Now, the Paro is an aid for those in hospitals. Do you have a loved one with Alzheimer's or dealing with dementia? Well, this is an aid for them to, deal with the real world. Now, this is absolutely covered with sensors, from the whiskers to touch sensors to noise sensors, and it helps them to relate to something. Now, it brings them out of themselves. It's a therapeutic aid. Now, of course, this is not a toy. This is not for the boy or girl under 6. This is not a Christmas present. This is an actual serious piece of technology that brings the internet of adorable things to the masses. If you want to find out more about this innovative use of technology, you got to check them out. Go to www.parorobots.com. Me, I'm going to get some cuddle time.
Okay, that thing was really strange, and believe it or not, that robot I was holding, it's about $5,000.
$5,000?
Yeah, it's not a Teddy Ruxpin doll.
It looks like a $40 stuffed animal.
It really does, and that's why when they told me the price, I'm like, okay, we're out of here. But then someone explained it to me later on, because I did find one of these at one of the care facilities that I help at.
Oh.
And I was like, you bought one of these? And the nurse was saying, this is probably the best money we have ever spent.
So what exactly does it do?
So it's not just like an animatronic thing. It really is incredibly well constructed. They allowed me to take the thing off. You can like wash the cover and everything. But it's got special material so you actually can cuddle with it. It is loaded. It's got so many sensors, so it knows exactly what's being done to it, and it reacts.
Oh.
And the whole idea is you give this to somebody with dementia, and it helps. I did not believe it. I was ready to discount it until I actually saw it. There was a patient that I was helping with, and she was far gone, and it was so difficult to get her to focus on anything. It was difficult to medicate her. It was difficult to get her to do simple things like bathe. Well, they would bring the Paro over for about 30 minutes a day, and she would be good for like 10 hours.
Wow.
And I can't explain it. All I know is that it absolutely worked. So if you're at a medical facility, that is money well spent.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
My mother's worked in nursing homes, and
Yep.
I've heard stories, and I know that patients can sometimes be difficult. And if this is what they need, then that's money well spent.
And we've got Dr. Morbius in the chat room who's saying cats are cheaper. And actually, yeah, real animals are cheaper, but you can't
have real animals in many healthcare facilities.
Yeah, a lot of patients in healthcare facilities are immunocompromised. You cannot bring animals in there. It's just that's not kosher. This, you can control it, you can sterilize it between patients. And again, to me, it's stupid. It sounds like a ridiculous waste of money. But if you're talking about a loved one, and if you're talking about a patient who you're spending tens of thousands of dollars a month to care for, $5,000 split up over all the patients in a care facility, that's actually not that much.
Especially if that is what helps them get through the day.
Precisely. So, okay, Paro, I am sorry I mocked you. I'm sorry I held on to that segment for so long. I do believe you've done a good thing.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed either.
I never would have guessed.
It's pretty silly, but wow.
Yeah, well, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's cute. They've got like a stuffed animal. And I was playing with it, oh, this is so nice. And then we did that interview, or that little stand-up, and then I said, oh, by the way, what's the price? $5,000. And I was just like,
excuse me.
I'm sorry, I must have misheard
US dollars?
Are we talking, wait, it's like pesos? What?
Well, and it is healthcare where stuff is expensive.
Precisely. And they had to go through all of the, I guess you'd need to do certifications.
All the clinical testing.
Because you need to prove that it's not going to cause any allergic reactions. You need to prove that you can clean the thing properly.
And it's just not going to catch fire.
I think that's a ridiculously expensive process.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So there you go, folks. Again, a different use of technology than I would have chosen, but if it gets the job done, I'm sorry, that's just awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of awesome, let's go ahead and take a moment to thank another sponsor of Know How, because without them, we wouldn't be able to have the show as we know it. One of the questions I often get asked, especially on my other show, This Week in Enterprise Tech, is how do I get into IT? I mean, we know it's lucrative. We know that you can make a career there. We know that it's one of these skills that's in high demand, but how do you go from having a passion for technology to actually working in technology? Or you could do it the way I did. And the way I did was, well, I was around when it started. It means that I practiced on gear that I found. It meant that I apprenticed and worked my way up the ladder so I actually understood the technology world around me. But if you don't want to do it that way, maybe you want to go to a class, an organized gathering of people who want to get that knowledge. No matter what it might be, I've got a secret, a way for you to get all the information you need, no matter where you are in your IT journey. And that secret is IT Pro TV. Now, IT Pro TV is the biggest repository of IT knowledge on the internet. They've got over 1,000 hours of content and more than 30 hours that are added each week. You can stream courses live and on demand worldwide to your Chromecast, your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, your Apple TV, or your PC. That means that you can learn on your own pace, on your own devices, on your own time. And because you get to learn the way that you want to learn, not the way that a tool demands you learn, it means that the knowledge stays with you. Their course topics include things like Certified Information Systems Security Professional, CompTIA Security Plus, CompTIA A+, and Ethical Hacking version 9. Their October courses include things like CCNA Routing and Switching, Installation, Storage, and Compute with Server 2016, Windows Operating Fundamentals, Red Hat Linux Networking with Server 2016, and so much more. They've also got transcripts, which I really like, because it means that if you're looking for a particular piece of knowledge, if you're using this as a reference, rather than having to sit through an entire lesson, you can find the spot that deals with the question you have, jump straight there, be in, out, and back to work. They also give you more than 100 step-by-step virtual machine labs and transcender practice exams. That's a $109 value. And you can take advantage of their low monthly subscription price and no hassle cancellation policy. Now, while subscriptions are still the best value, they understand that sometimes you might want to try before you buy. And that's why their courses are also available on Amazon Video Direct. If you're currently signed up for an enterprise account with an IT Pro TV competitor and they're subjecting you to a rate increase, well, don't put up with that. IT Pro TV will match your previous year's pricing of that account so that you and your team can learn at an affordable rate. IT Pro TV is used by Harvard, MIT, UCSD, Stanford, and of course, Twit TV. If we trust IT Pro TV, don't you think you should too? Check out itpro.tv/knowhow to access the most popular IT certifications on the planet. Premium subscriptions are normally $57 a month or $570 per year, but we've got a special offer. Try it free for 7 days when you sign up using our code KNOWHOW30. You'll also receive 30% off the lifetime of your account. That's less than $40 per month or $399 for the entire year. Just visit itpro.tv/knowhow. That's itpro.tv/knowhow. And use the code KNOWHOW30 to try it free for 7 days, plus save 30% off the life of your account. And we thank IT Pro TV for their support of Know-How. All right, so let's get away from the practical and look at a little bit more real.
Okay.
Wait, those are the two of those things, the same thing. Never mind. Let's just keep running on. I have had a problem I haven't talked much about, and that is I'm actually losing the hearing in my right ear. This has been happening over the last 10 years or so. I did not realize it until I took a hearing test, and they're like, yeah, you've lost about 80% of the hearing in your right ear.
Oh, wow.
Left ear's fine, so I can still hear things. It's just you'll often see me kind of turning away. Yeah. Here's a fun story, though. There was a company that saw a couple of my episodes, and they wrote to me. They're like, we noticed that you seem to be favoring your left ear. By chance, are you having issues with your right ear? And I'm like, how do you know that? Look, well, that's what we do. And so they sent me this. This is the MD hearing aid. It's an interesting product. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but I know what it is because I had to help a friend, actually a family member, shop for a medical grade hearing aid. This is not the bargain basement thing that you buy from Walgreens that has a watch battery that works for 5 hours and then feeds back on itself. This is actually something that really does help. Now, I was shocked, Patrick, when I found out how expensive some of these units were. I found $1,600 units, and that wasn't not uncommonplace. But not just that, but when I got down to this, so this is a $500 unit. I found other hearing aids like this that the battery that you had to replace, it worked up to be something like $200 a year in replacement batteries.
Whoa.
And I couldn't believe that. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm already paying a ridiculous amount of money for the hearing aid. I don't want to have to pay that much for the batteries that go into it.
Yeah, I never really thought of that. The normal hearing aids just aren't, you can't recharge the batteries.
You can't, just throw away. And the batteries aren't that much, but you use so many of them that it's going to add up over the year. So this company had a smart idea. They said, well, why don't we just make it rechargeable, and why don't we make it rechargeable via USB? Oh. This is one of those like Badoy moments where you're like, well, why hasn't a company done this before? Super simple. It's got a port at the bottom, so you can charge this off of any standard USB plug. Put it in your computer, put it into your phone charger, and then this. I've tried this thing for about a month now. They actually sent me 2 units, and I have one that I use when I'm at church events because it kind of blends in with my skin because you can have these tailored. Oh. And this is fantastic. So tiny little unit. What I have here is this is the part that goes into your ear. This is the part that stabilizes it. So it keeps it from, like we've got IFBs in right now. Right. After about an hour of wearing an IFB, you feel the IFB. After about an hour of wearing this, it kind of disappears. Oh. Super simple. So yeah, the way it works is just turn this Mamma Jamma on. You've got a little volume control here. It's just like any other USB device that you may have used. Just drop it in the side here.
Is this customized for your ear?
No, no. So this is a generic device. This is just something that, and then I can use the stabilizing tube to sort of do this.
Oh, I see.
So it's in now.
So the stabilizing tube just kind of curls up inside to hold it in place.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So, and the nice thing about this is, just like you would expect from a hearing aid, I can adjust it up and down. I have yet gotten this to feedback. That's what I remember the most about hearing aids. Yeah. It's always but it makes a huge difference. I did not realize what 80% hearing loss does, but now I can actually hear out of this ear. And as you notice, this is it, folks. So it's on right now. Yeah, you don't notice it.
Yeah, I can. I mean, when you turn your head, I can see behind you. I can see the little thing, but other than that, it's just looking straight on. I can barely. I'm looking for it. And it's
precisely.
To see.
And this company, they were very nice. They let me use this thing, and they sent me this display model. I gotta say, this is not glamorous technology. This is not something that I'm gonna be able to do a before you buy, oh wait, we don't have that show anymore, a know-how in-depth review, because the function is very, very simple. It's a microphone, it's an amplifier, and it's a tiny little speaker. But if you do have hearing loss, this is a game changer, an affordable, rechargeable, professional medical grade hearing aid that you can basically buy over the counter.
I'm thinking about the new Apple AirPods, and if Apple went into this business,
maybe.
Yeah, and I know those are $150, and people are balking at the cost. But how much does this run?
That's 500 plus.
500, but it's better than the 1600.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yes.
Plus.
Yeah. Plus, I don't have to pay $200 a year for batteries.
You'll save that in a year on batteries alone, or 2 years on batteries alone.
In fact, I think they're so committed to quality that they use the same battery manufacturer as Samsung.
Oh. So it's a good rechargeable bet. Wait, no,
no,
that's not.
That's not true. That's totally not true. No, sorry.
You're making stuff up.
That too soon. Too soon. Yeah. Okay. But folks, if you've got a loved one who is losing their hearing, suggest this. And actually, I did find out that my health plan does cover this.
Oh, it's even covered by.
But we have a really good health plan.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't think that any health plan would cover something that's. So amazing.
We're going to make sure we put the links for this inside of our show notes. But again, this is the MD Hearing Aid Volt. Again, I can't really make this glamorous. I can't make it splashy. But as far as tech that could change your life, maybe the gift of hearing. Go figure. All right, let's get away from something that's super useful and get to something that's hilarious.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah, because I'm going to electrocute you.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah. In front of your wife.
Here?
That's how we did. Now, the last time we did a health tech episode, you may have seen this. This is the iTens. This is a tiny little device that uses very small electric shocks, pulses. Shocks is really too hard of a word.
Is this shock therapy?
It is kind of shock therapy. You're supposed to be able to put it over like a sore part of your body, like your lower back. For me, it's worked wonders on my arm. In fact, my left arm is really, really messed up. I put this on at night and I just let it run until it shuts off because it has an auto program. And it works really well. Well, people didn't believe me, so iTens sent me this one. This is actually the larger version. So they sent me the one with teeny tiny wings. This works well on my arms, but I wanted something that would work on my legs, and that band just won't cut it. And by the way, this thing is modular, so you can take the wings off and just use the module. So you just switch this part, and the module, this is what connects to your phone, this is what lets you use the app, this is what sends the little shocks. And it's rechargeable, so it's not like you have to replace the battery every time you use it.
And you mentioned there's an app, so this is controlled by your phone.
Yep, so let me go ahead and fire this thing up. And, hello. And wake up.
Relieves painful muscles and joints.
There you go. Just got to turn this thing on.
Wireless Bluetooth and app enabled.
Let's get there,
24 hours of use per charge.
So if you go, you'll notice that my iTens, I named it Volty McVoltface.
Oh, jeez. Of course you
This
did.
is the same one that we used last time. And I wanted to bring it back because this thing actually, last time we had it, I had run out of the electrode pads. It's the gel pads that allow it to stick to your body.
And those have to be replaced every time?
No. I mean, I've actually, this is new. So these are brand new.
Okay.
But I've used the same pads for like a month. I mean, just clean your skin before you apply it. I mean, they're adhesive. So if
so it's going to pull off. Yeah,
it becomes gross.
Hairs and
Actually, here, let's open up the big one so that you can see the difference between them. So this one is with wings, and this is with big wings. Yay! Look at that. All right. So the way it's going to work is, if you come back to the wide view here, I'm not going to electrocute you, unless you really want to be electrocuted. And then, so I've always got pain right about here, and what you want to do is you basically bridge the area that has pain. So I'm going to put this here. I'm just going to put the two wings. And because of that little gel pad, this thing sticks really well.
Okay.
And the cool thing about this is you can like tell the app to run for an hour, and it will basically put you to sleep. So let's go ahead and start to, oops, sorry, let me retype my code. Let's go ahead and start to electrocute me if you go down to the thing here.
Let's turn it all the way up.
No. So we're going to, see, so all it feels like, it's like a little buzzing. It doesn't feel like a shock. It feels as if almost like there's a cell phone vibrator motor that's on. And I typically leave this at 3 because I'm a wuss.
How high does it go, 10?
Let's
find out.
That's what Hippo tried to do too. Do you want to try it? Seriously, it's not bad.
If you start at 1.
I'll start at 1.
0 is off, right?
0 is off. So it's doing nothing right now. And
now, can you use this on any part of your body?
yes.
Like, okay, so this.
I mean, just be wise about it. You
forehead.
You don't want to like bridge electricity through like your heart, so just don't do that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to bring it up to
neck is
1. You probably
fine.
won't even feel it.
Yeah, I don't feel it.
Okay, and 2.
No. Oh, I feel that.
There it is, see? There it is.
Yeah, it does feel like
See, it's
cell phone vibrating right on your skin.
Right. And it sounds stupid, but this thing does work. It really does work. I don't know if it's psychosomatic, but after using this for just 30 minutes, my elbow pain does go away. It comes back, but then, the next day I toss this thing back on.
And I don't feel this vibrating.
No.
Like if it was a phone vibrating, I'd feel the phone, but I don't feel this vibrating.
That's all
but
your
I
muscles.
feel it in my arm.
That vibration is being generated by your muscles getting pulsed by the electric shock. But I mean, you tell people that you're going to electrocute them, and they have the same reaction that you did when we were in your office, which is, I'm not going to let you electrocute me.
Well, when you say electrocute me, that's not really something I'm looking forward to.
It's not. I'm going to shock you. In fact, Colleen tried this at the, we went to...
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Oh, 4, turn it down. Oh.
Why would you do that?
Well...
You did that to yourself.
I know. Okay, let's go back. Well, 3 wasn't too bad, but wow, it really went up fast.
Yeah, it did. Well,
and it goes to 10? No.
Yeah, let's see. How far does this go?
Oh, and it's, yeah.
Actually, it does this. It knows that it's not connected, so it won't let it go.
Okay. Yeah, there's no sticky residue either. I was thinking, okay, he's going to have to,
And in fact, see, this is how they work. This is what the gel pads look like. They're just these little, they put them, obviously in
My
pairs.
wife's laughing at me.
Because she's like, did he really just do that?
Come here, we're going to put this on your neck. That'll fix your...
They include these little gel cabs, they look like this. So if you go to the overhead shot here, Victor, they just sell them in big packs. And what you do is you just peel off the backing, then you stick it to this. So you peel off the old gel pack, like so. And in fact, here, you can take this one with you. This is the actual gel stuff that they use, like when you have an EKG or an ECG.
But I was surprised. I expected there to be sticky residue on my arm.
Oh yeah, no, this is all medical grade.
You can't even tell it was there.
They don't leave any residue. Residue is not acceptable. And you just do this to get rid of all the nastiness. So that's yours.
Thanks.
See, like
I'll treasure this always.
Don't say I never gave you nothing.
Oh, can I have another?
yes, you can. There you go.
Oh, you're so generous.
It's like 2 pieces of jelly snot. All right, and then the way that it works is I just do this. Peel off the backing and line it up. Boom. The nice thing about this is that you can keep this on. So every time I use this, I like to reset it so that it'll be ready to go the next time, because you're much less likely to use it if you have to do a setup every time you want to use this thing.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. And then when you want to turn it off, just hold down that middle button. You can actually use this without, you can use this without the app. What you do is you can turn it on and then you can use up and down to increase and decrease.
Okay.
But then you lose the advantage of having the app, because the app will actually track your activity. It will track how many times you've used it, and it will help you put you on a regular schedule.
Okay. So
who knew that electrifying yourself could be healthy?
And that was 4. I can't imagine what 10 is like.
You want to try it?
No.
Okay. All right. Folks, we know that this was a lot of information, and we might want to make it easy for you to find everything that we've talked about here, from Patrick's notes on IFT and the Why Things Scale, to where you might go if you have a loved one who might need a Paro, or if you or a loved one needs something like a hearing aid that won't break the bank, and something to electrocute the people that you love. You're going to find all of that at our show notes. And Patrick, where do we typically put those?
You can find those at twit.tv/KH.
Yeah. And also there you'll be able to subscribe. If you really want to help Know How, if you want to spread the word, if you want to support the shows and the content that we make, please subscribe. You can get an audio version into your iPhone. You can get a video version into a tablet, maybe even a high-def version into your laptop, your PC, your Mac, your desktop,
Apple
some
TV,
of those, Apple TV, whatever it might be, so you can watch us in high definition. It's all there at twit.tv/KH. Also, don't forget that you can find us on our social media group on Google+. Just go to Google Plus and look for Know How. There is an application process, but I approve everyone. It's just to keep out all the spam accounts. And if you go there, you'll get access to the 10,000 plus Kitas. It's the know-it-alls who are, well, some of the brightest people I know. You'll find everyone in every step of their maker journey, from beginners to experts. If you're an expert, come in and help the beginners, because that's part of the maker movement. If you're a beginner, come in and look for ideas for the things that you want to build. Again, go to Google Plus and look for Know How. Of course, Patrick, we're also on Twitter, right? Where are you?
I'm at twitter.com/pdelahanty.
And you're going to find me at twitter.com/PadreSJ. We've also got a new TD because Kara Cole abandoned us today.
Yeah, what? Come on, Kara.
I don't think there's a camera on him, but Victor, could you say a few words to the Twit Army?
Hello, Twit Army.
That's
Victor.
About the only thing we ever hear from Victor. He works so hard and he talks so little.
Strong but silent type.
It's weird that he works at Twit because we only attract the other type of people. Go figure.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Until next time, I am Father Robert Ballister. Oh, wait, no, before we go, I'm sorry, I always forget this part. You got to plug Anime Cons. You got to plug what you do because you're not just another pretty programmer here at Twit. You actually do a huge service for the geek community. Tell us all about it.
I have a website called animecons.com that I've been running for 12 plus years, and you can find Japanese anime conventions around the world. It also has a sister site, fancons.com, that has every other kind of geek convention. And we do a podcast at animecons.tv, where every Monday we do reviews of conventions, talk about cosplay and other convention-related stuff. So
there you go.
we had an
Animecons
interview
TV.
with some of the Pokemon voice actors.
Oh, wait, which one was Pikachu?
None of them.
Oh.
There's a Nurse Joy in there, though.
Really? Wait, which one was Nurse Joy?
The one on, actually the two on the left have both played Nurse Joy at one point.
Wait a minute, they've had multiple voice actresses?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. No, I am incensed. You can't do that. You're toying with my emotions now.
But yeah, we did. I went up to SAC Anime last weekend with Snubs, and we get a report on that. Both
Fantastic.
of us,
So please find him. You're going to join us again because we still need to do a special.
We're going to do
episode.
Halloween episodes coming up soon.
You've got the doctor's hand in a jar, which I think we're going to upgrade.
We're going to upgrade that. And also, last year, my wife and I made some Sabine armor, and so I'm going to show how to make some cosplay armor. Which is,
can you convince your wife to come on? Or I know she's shy. She doesn't like to really be in front of camera, but
maybe if she wears her helmet.
I mean, I'll wear the armor, but I'm not going to look nearly as good in it. It's going to be actually kind of bad.
We'll see.
All right.
You'll have to tune in and find out.
Until next time, I'm Father Robert Ballister. Again, he's Patrick Delahante. And now that you know how,
Go do it.